Hello and a very warm welcome to the Banners Broker business. I'm delighted that you've decided to find out exactly how this business makes money, and I'm going to take you through some examples to make it crystal clear as to how the business generates revenue, how you make your money, and of course at any time, should you just simply want to click on the Get Started button at the bottom of this page, then feel free to do so. But I would recommend that you just watch this video through to the end, because we have found it extremely beneficial for everybody to understand exactly how marketing works, how revenue is generated for the parties involved, and in the first instance what I'm going to do is use an offline example that then will lead into exactly how Banners Broker compares. In front of us we have a British Underground station. This is Bond Street, a picture of Bond Street Underground, which is the London Underground in the UK. For those who are in the US, that's a subway. And here we have an example of advertising space that's been taken up by Coca-Cola in such a location. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, give you an understanding of who's involved in the various steps that are needed to put in place in order for revenue to be generated for those concerned. So here we have the London Underground. They own the station, Bond Street, and they obviously have available wall space that has a captive audience for passengers that are on the platform, and they want to find a company that is willing to display their product, in this instance Coca-Cola, to advertise that product to their captive audience. Now, London Underground are not able to go direct to Coca-Cola. They could, but they don't have the contacts. So in this instance they need to find a broker who can find them a suitable company. And the company that I've used in this instance is a company called Clear Channel. Clear Channel specialise in large roadside advertising billboards and also advertising in this sort of location. Clear Channel, of course, have a huge array of customers that they go to and that are on their books, and therefore Clear Channel in this instance have gone to Coca-Cola. So who's making money? Well, quite simply, everybody is. Coca-Cola decide that they want to place their advert in this particular location, and in order to do that they need to pay Clear Channel an agreed sum of money for a set period of time. Clear Channel, of course, have already got an agreement in place with the London Underground in order to find a suitable company to advertise their product, and Clear Channel need to share the profit or some of the money that Coca-Cola have paid them with the London Underground. So who wins? Well, everybody wins. Coca-Cola sell more product because they're advertising in these key locations. Clear Channel, of course, are making profit, and they will keep the difference between what they've agreed with the London Underground and what Coca-Cola have paid them. And of course the London Underground have a blank wall space that otherwise would not be generating them any money, and they've got an advertiser on there now that in turn is paying them a revenue. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. Now let's see how this compares to an online example, very much online, referring to web advertising. So here we have the same example, but we've taken this online, and in this instance our London Underground has been replaced by somebody called the publisher, and for this example we've used the BBC News World website. In the same way, we need a broker to take the space or take place of Clear Channel to find us a suitable advertiser, and in this instance we've used Banners Broker. And Banners Broker, of course, do exactly the same job as Clear Channel. Their responsibility and the core business is all about finding an advertiser that will advertise on websites around the world. Now, here's where there's a difference and where you and I come into play. Banners Broker could obviously lease the space themselves in the same way that Clear Channel leased the space in the London Underground. But very cleverly, they've put together a business model that allows the likes of you and I to get involved by leasing this space with our own funds. So as opposed to Banners Broker leasing the space on the News World website, they will allow the likes of you and I to do it for them. So quite simply, Banners Broker give us that opportunity. We pay Banners Broker a set amount of money in which to lease the space on a set website, and again in this instance we're using the BBC News World website, and in turn Banners Broker guarantee to us that they will find a suitable company on their books to have an advert placed in the banner that we have leased within 48 hours. So we're in a very comfortable position. And as you can see on the BBC website here, there is a banner advert on the top right corner. This is currently being occupied by ShareBuilder, but let's assume for this example that that's due to expire and the BBC need to find a new company to advertise their product here. So let's take a closer look at that. Banners Broker pay our money across to the BBC and lease the space, and in turn then Banners Broker will contact a client, and we'll use Coca-Cola again for this example, and gain a commitment from Coca-Cola to lease the banner space and advertising space for a certain period of time, and that period of time may vary from client to client, and of course Banners Broker allow us to vary that as well. Coca-Cola agree to take the space, place one of their adverts, and of course have to pay for that privilege. Now the money that Banners Broker received from Coca-Cola in this instance, and if you refer back to the earlier example that I gave you of the London Underground and Clear Channel, Banners Broker now will share part of that profit with us as we lease the space. So they pass the money on to us, and in turn that's how we generate our revenue. So yet again, who wins? Well, Coca-Cola wins because they're selling more product. Banners Broker, in the same way as Clear Channel, are generating profit from the difference between what Coca-Cola has paid them and what they agreed with the BBC in this example to fill that space. We win because we've obviously made revenue, and in most instances that is twice the original stake. And of course the BBC are happy because they've managed to generate some revenue for the advertising space that they have on their website. So let's take a look at what this model looks like in Banner Broker. Here is inside one of the web pages that we work on, and at the bottom you'll see that there is a yellow chevron, and this yellow chevron just depicts exactly what we've just looked at. This relates to one of those banner adverts on a website somewhere in the world. Let's take a closer look at it. Here's an enlarged version of that particular panel, and again just looking at the panel itself, there's a certain amount of information on there. We have a code that tells us where in the world that is. I'm not particularly concerned. All I'm concerned about is that if I lease this particular panel and a yellow panel costs me $10 to lease, I want to know that within a set period of time, and in this instance it's 4 weeks, the panel itself will give me a return of twice my money, which is $20. Here you can see that the date that I actually purchased it was on the 12th of September. I qualified it, and the panel is currently running, showing me that for all the people that have clicked on that advertising space on this website, wherever it may be, I have generated a revenue of $13.36 to date. When it reaches the $20 cap, which is the ceiling that Banners Broker put in place for my $10 investment, when it hits $20, it will simply pay that amount of money out to me, and I decide then exactly what I want to do with it from there. This is exactly the way that Google works. Google, as you've probably seen from previous videos, generated over $200 billion by online marketing and their AdWords pay-per-click campaign last year. The difference between Google and Banners Broker is Google don't pay out any commission to their affiliates or agents. They simply keep all the profit for themselves. But the business model is exactly the same. Let's just take a quick look at a different panel. Here is a purple panel. This is a slightly larger advertising space on a website. And again, you can see from the revenue figures that we're showing at the top that this panel has generated an income of $54.20, and when it reaches $60, it will pay that out. Now, I actually have my settings set to 50%, so that simply means that when this panel is finished, I don't have to worry about buying another one, which of course I will do if I'm twicing my money. It will simply automatically replace itself for $30 and put $30 then into my e-wallet for me to decide what I want to do with it, withdraw it, reinvest it, etc. So let's look at the important bit. This is inside my e-wallet. This gives us a good understanding of exactly what's going on and the important figures that you're interested in and exactly how we're making our money. So those panels daily are being clicked on anywhere around the world by people who see the adverts, and those adverts are of interest. Every time they're clicked on, we generate revenue, as you've just seen on the panels, and that revenue is reflected in the total earnings box here on the right hand side. So to date, on this particular account, my total earnings on all the panels that I had running at this time was $1,871. The figure at the bottom here is actually the total amount that all of my panels will pay out once they have all hit maturity. You remember I referred to a cap, which is the maximum term or maximum amount that I can generate from each panel, and this is a quick calculation for all the panels that I have within this account, that once they have reached that cap, it'll pay out. On the center box here, you'll see that this shows me what I have available to spend, and quite simply all I will do with this is, with the $20, I will simply buy 2 more yellow panels to lease at $10 each, because I know that that will twice my money within a 4-week period. And of course, if I want to withdraw that, I have an option to simply withdraw the money from my account into a bank account or onto a prepaid credit card, for example. So hopefully that's given you some good insight to the business. As I've mentioned earlier on, it's an incredible business, and one the likes of I've not seen which in 25 years. So here's my pledge to you. If you don't make money with this business, I will personally give you $1,000. Now, that's a huge pledge, but I know with this business it is impossible not to make money. So I'm comfortable in that position. And furthermore, I would like to make a commitment to you. And it's a quite simple commitment, which is as follows. I will personally help you get started with as little as $25. I will mentor you on a one-to-one basis, as I've previously mentioned. I will pass on all the secrets that Banner's broker don't freely disclose. You'll be able to join our private group of over 100 individuals, all of whom are making money with Banner's broker. And you'll be able to enjoy our online webinars, team training, and have access to our 24-hour Skype support. So now it's your turn, and this is what I need you to do. Firstly, what I would like you to do is to take a look at the private account videos on the left-hand side of the page. Now, you may wish to skip these. You might be keen just to get started. Feel free to do that. Not a problem with that at all. The videos on the left-hand side will simply give you a day-by-day, step-by-step overview on what we've made or what I've made in the account from day 1, and their timeline. So they go through day 7, day 10, so you get a true picture of exactly how we're making money and how much we're making on a day-to-day basis. Once you've done that, then click on the Create a Free Account button, which you'll see on the page. Put your name in, email address, and create a username, but then don't do anything more than contact me. Do not go ahead and buy a package without talking to me first, because I want to make sure that I give you all the inside information to get you off to a flying start. That's the button you need to be clicking. It's at the bottom of this page, so click on the button, and then if you still have any questions at that point, I will happily answer them for you. There's no financial or moral commitment at that stage, and if you've got questions, we'll go through them and make sure you're comfortable before proceeding. So, as a final note, what I would like to ask you was, when was the last time somebody showed you a business where it is impossible not to make money? I'm really looking forward to helping you get started. Click on that button beneath me, and I look forward to talking to you as soon as you've done so.